So here's the thing. About a month ago, or I want to say maybe a month and a half, I decided that I wanted to learn how to knit. So I went out and bought myself a bunch of knitting needles. I got them in kind of a packet, so I don't know what size these are, so I got them in different sizes. So these are the smaller ones, and then I have the big ones. This is the biggest one I have, which is a size 8 knitting needle, and I think they're just plastic. I got them pretty cheap because the store that I found them at had like a 50% off sale. This is the yarn I'm using. It's yellow because I found that a lot of people online suggested that if you are a beginner, you try using a light colored yarn, because it'll be easier for you to see where the loops are. And also they suggested to go for a bigger size. Now I don't have the biggest needle size. I have is a size 8. I think this was a size 8, or maybe this was a size 7 or something. I do really want to learn how to make a scarf, so that's probably the first thing that I'll try and make with this, even though I don't really wear the color yellow, so I'm not sure who I'm gonna give this to. But then I think one of the reasons why I wanted to start knitting was because I really want to make a like little knitted dolls, like knitted like toys, like teddy bears and stuffed animals kind of things, because I have a new baby nephew, and he's the most adorable thing in the world, and I wanted to make little toys for him. I haven't gotten to the point, like I think I know how to like cast on. By the way, if you don't know what casting on is, it's basically just like putting the first loops on the thing, and this was the thing that tripped me up in the very beginning, I think, because I think I was doing my slip knot backwards or something. In the past, I've definitely not tried as many things as I probably should have, and this is like no one's fault obviously, but I just kind of thought like there was a point when I was younger where I would try all these different things, but I found that whenever I just wasn't good at it, I just didn't know how to do it, or whenever like someone else that I knew was like good at it, I was like, oh well, I mean that's their thing, I'm not good at it anyway, I should stop doing that thing. That was kind of like my mindset. And the other thing I think that stopped me from sort of like trying new skills, I guess, is it's because of my eyes, because I thought, oh, there's no way that I could be able to do that, because I wouldn't be able to see or something like that. So I think that's definitely something that I've stopped thinking that way, and instead I've kind of been like, I want to try it, and if it doesn't work the way other people do it, maybe I can try to figure out a way that I can do it with my eyes. That's definitely the mindset that I've tried to go into things these days. And yeah, I don't know why we don't learn these kind of like life skills in school. This is really important. Like, you can make your own clothes if you wanted to. I guess they don't want you to make your own clothes because they want you to spend money. decided, I've done a couple of rows of the knit stitch and I'm gonna brave the purl stitch, which is, it's still so confusing to me. Like, I know it's literally just the knit stitch, but like you do it backwards, but it's so confusing to me. See, because I did the purl stitch over here just then, you can see that there is, so I accidentally did 2 rows of purl stitches. I should have alternated, but now you can see that there's like a big gap of like basically 2 knit stitches on the back, because I did 2 rows of purl stitches on the front. Does that make sense? This is just gonna be like my my practice scarf. I don't even know if it's gonna be a scarf. This is just gonna be like my practice thing, because I want to be comfortable. I think I'm already comfortable doing the casting on, I think it's called the long tail. I don't know if I like need to learn any other versions of the casting on, like any other methods of the casting on, but I really like the long tail. I think I figured it out and I'm comfortable with it. And I think I'm comfortable with doing the knit stitch. I want to get comfortable doing the purl stitch, and then I want to learn how to do how to cast off and like sew things into itself to make an actual, like, to finish a project basically. Okay, I think I did something weird. For some reason I have an extra loop on my needle. Let me recount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I have 16. I started off with 15, so I don't know. Okay, I think I fixed it. I watched a video and they said that I could bump it off when I'm like doing the next row, but then they said that if I've already like completely missed it, then I had to kind of like rip that row out and re-loop it onto my needle, which is what I did, which I was so stressed about. But I think, let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, so I have 15. There are no holes. I can't see any holes. Yeah, I am very happy that I figured that out, because now when I make that same mistake, which I probably will, I know exactly what to do. So this is how much I've done. I think it's pretty good progress for only being a couple of days. Also, I don't like knit for hours on end, so I think it's pretty good. I think I'm gonna like, this isn't really something that I'm gonna like turn into anything, mostly because it's like my first ever time like knitting something, and also it's like not really like, if I were to turn this into like a scarf or a coaster or like a placemat, which is what I'm thinking of doing maybe in the future, this isn't really a color that I would kind of, it's not within my sort of color palette. It's also not the color palette of this place, so this is just kind of like my practice thing. So you can see that I did a lot of knit stitches in the very beginning, which is what I was more comfortable with. I tried doing some purl stitches here, which is very, very loose, and I didn't know how to like tighten that up. I didn't really understand how to do that. So then I went back to doing just regular knit stitches, and then so this part here, I started doing what I think is going to be a more common stitch pattern in a lot of things. I watch a lot of knitting videos now, but it's basically where you do one row of knit stitches, and then you flip it over, and then you do a row of purl stitch, and then you do a row of knit stitching, so it kind of goes back and forth, and then it's supposed to like create this, I think it's called like the stockinette pattern. So this is what it looks like from the back, and then this is what it looks like from the, I think this is the front. Yes, I think this is the front. So I'm up to, so I just did a purl. That's the other thing I've learned throughout doing this, is I've learned to sort of like read my knitting, I guess. So like in the video that I've been watching, they like gave me a tip on how to sort of like read it. So like if I were to like put this down, which I did, I put it down because I needed to do some laundry, and then come back to it, instead of being confused what I've just done, basically what you've just done is on this side, so what you're seeing is what you did before what you've done. So this looks like this side, which is where I'm up to because I'm putting the needle in my left hand. This side is like the knit stitch because there's no little bumps. The bumps is on this side, so that means that I just did a purl, and so the next point is to do a knit stitch. Also, the other thing that I've learnt to do is to, actually I think it's better if I have it on this side, but the other thing that I've learnt to do is to work on holding my working yarn. I saw Sheep and Stitch, the girl from Sheep and Stitch, do this, where she like, so she would tie it like around her pinky, and I kind of want to make my stitches tighter, because that's the other thing I've learned is the way you make your stitches more compact and tighter is with your own tension. So she wraps it around her pinky, and then she puts it under these two fingers, like your ring finger and your middle finger, and then you put it over your pointer, and then you kind of hold your needle. So then when you're doing a knit stitch, so you go under, instead of like having to grab the yarn, you basically just do your hand, put your hand like that, twist your hand, and then you do the stitch, which I think is a lot more, because you're not like having to stop. I still need to work on how to hold the two knitting needles in my left hand when I have to do that though. I don't know how people deal with that. I'm gonna do a couple more rows while I listen to Evolution of a Snake. If you are into Taylor Swift, which I'm a really big fan, there is a podcast called Evolution of a Snake, which I don't know if you've heard of it, but I really like the podcast. It's this guy named Zach and his friend Madeline, and they talk about Taylor Swift, which is my favorite thing to talk about. I am very selective with who I talk about Taylor Swift with, because I've been burnt a couple of times in the past. Not to sound like a hipster, but I was into Taylor Swift back when I was in high school. Yeah, so I was a really big fan of her music back around Fearless, I think. I heard a couple of her songs during her debut album, but I wasn't really following her or anything. And then Fearless came out, and I was I just really liked it. And then Speak Now came out, which is like my, I don't know if I want to say it's my favorite album. I don't know if I have a favorite album of hers. I have a couple. I love all of them, but Speak Now is definitely the album that reminds me a lot of my high school, like, because I think it came out in 2010, and I was in year 12. I was in my last year of high school, so it reminds me a lot of like when I was 17. I don't know why. I think it's just the song The Story of Us, which is one of, like, it's still one of my favorite songs. Anyway, yeah, so I never shared my music taste with I don't know if anyone else had this, but when I was younger, your music taste like was what people judged you on. I think they still do this. I think people still do this. I don't hang around like new people anymore who ask about like my taste in music or whatever, or at least I don't really care that much anymore now that I'm no longer 17. But I used to be a bit, you know, I used to be like a closeted Swiftie. Because I just didn't want to tell people, because it's always been the cooler thing to not like Taylor Swift versus liking her. And I know that she has way more fans nowadays, but it's still a thing. I don't know why. Alright, so I've done a couple of rows. I think I'm getting the hang of the pearl stitch, especially with having the yarn, like the working yarn on my right hand. That felt a lot smoother to do, because I don't know, with the way I was doing it before, it was like all of my hands and my fingers were getting sort of caught when I was spinning the yarn over the needle. So I think I figured out a way that works for me. I don't know if it's like the right way. I don't know how you're supposed to actually do it, but it works for me. I'm still like, my fingers are still kind of getting caught, but it's fine. I do want to try and like finish this up, because I think that's like long enough. I think I want to learn how to cast off. Okay, so I just watched Marley's video about how to cast off or bind off. I think I can figure it out. So I watched her do the whole way through, so I'm gonna try and do it myself now. Okay, alright. So I think, I'm nervous. So you knit a stitch, and then you knit a second stitch, okay, and then you use your left needle to put that one over the first one. I don't know how to grab it. I need to grab it with my finger, and then you push it off, I think. Alright, let's do it again. So you knit one, and then you grab the one in the back with your needle. Oh my god, I definitely want to get wooden knitting needles, because apparently the wooden ones aren't as slippery. Woo, okay, I think we're doing it. all I need to do is cut this off. So I'm gonna leave this much. Just because if it was like an actual real project, I think I would have to like weave it in. Maybe that was too short actually. I made a rectangle. This is so cool. Oh, I'm excited to make more. But yeah, this was like my first ever attempt at knitting anything, and I'm actually pretty proud of myself that I managed to learn how to do this. I'm very proud of myself that I did this. I thought I would never be able to like do anything crafty like this. I've never like felt like a crafty person, I guess, just because I'm not really good at art. I took art classes in high school and stuff, and I was not the most artistic in the class, and so I just thought that anything that was like a lot more creative in terms of like crafty, artsy kind of anything that doesn't involve words, I always think that I'm probably not gonna be able to do it. So yeah, I'm very proud of this. I think it's gonna be a fun hobby for me to keep doing. Yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this kind of strange video. I know it's not book related, and let me know if you also knit, and or if you are interested in trying to knit. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you in another video soon.